Food. I've planted it, grown it, plucked it, picked it, cropped it, killed it, gutted it, caught it, frozen it, served it, chewed it, tasted it, swallowed it, munched it, peeled it, burned it, baked it, fried it, boiled it, and loved it. So let's talk about it. Onions. Same family as garlic, chives, scallions, shallots, and leeks. Now there's many different types of onions eaten throughout the world, but we're going to sort of focus mostly on brown or white skinned onions, common ones, or red salad onions. Now here's a little fact for you. The nutritional value in onions is the same whether they're raw or cooked. Peeling an onion. Now there's many schools of thought on how to peel an onion and stop it from making you cry and things like that, but the simple fact is that onions produce like a gas when you start peeling them, and it gets into your eyes. So you can peel them underwater, you can peel them with big goggles on if you like, and that might reduce it a little bit, but the simple fact is onions produce the gas and they make you cry. There's different reasons for peeling onions differently, which I'll go through with you, but traditionally, or the way I was always taught to peel an onion, is to use a turning knife or a hooked paring knife and take a curl out of the top and a curl out of the bottom, and then peel the sides down. Don't be afraid to take a layer of onion as well as a bit of the skin, because that'll give you a nice clean finish. Okay, easily done. Now the only reason that you would change from that method is, let's say you're doing like a red onion salad where you wanted it to stay as a wedge. Okay, you can take the tip out of the top and then just cut off the bottom in a straight line. And the reason for that is it holds the little the joining piece at the bottom of the onion together, so that when they're cut into quarters they don't fall apart. Same as before, just peeling off. Take a little one layer of the actual onion off, and that gives you a nice clean finish. So I'll just show, for starters, with the red onion, if you were going to do it for a salad and you wanted it to stay in sort of larger pieces which you could grill like that, and that way that piece at the bottom stays together, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart while you're grilling it, and you still get that nice piece for the salad. Whereas if you do it the traditional method where you've taken the top and the bottom out, you'll pretty much always get a fall apart, which is what you want when you're doing a sliced onion or something like that. Slicing an onion. You want to work with the onion so it has a nice ring shape as the onion's layers go around. So you want to work with that as you're slicing through and following the shape of the onion. Go further than halfway, right? Once you get to there, you flop your onion over and start again, back on this angle. That saves your fingers and gives you a nice finish at the end. Okay? So that's sliced onion, and you'll see because we took that joining piece out of the bottom, you get a nice break apart. With your knife down through the onion, but not cutting all the way to the end. And here, the finer you get across, okay, the finer your onion dice will be. We're all getting the effects of the onion right now. Oh, it's crazy. So once you've gone across that way, you then want to carefully cut across in half this way. Now you can go one or two depending on the size of the onion, whatever you're safest with without chopping the tips of your fingers off. Okay, and then come back across the other way, and as before, the finer you go here, the finer your chop will be. Okay, so that gets you a very, very nice fine dice. You have a little piece at the end. What do we do with that? Well, we can use that in other products, or if you still want to use it in your chopped onion, you just slice it through quickly, right, and then turn the whole bunch sideways and come back across. And that'll get you a very nice dice. So that's 2 simple cuts with onions, sliced, diced, okay. For a larger dice, all you want to do is come across the onion this way rather than the lengthwise first, and you can go all the way across, okay. Just carefully with your finger holding it in place after your knife's gone through, right. Then turn the whole thing sideways, and as we're sliced, follow the shape of the onion, the shape of those rings, and you'll have a nice even dice. Okay, so that's some simple ways of cutting onions, and you'll find that most onions that we use, red salad onions as well as white onions, cut very similar and have very similar finished product. Cooking onions, there's many millions of ways to cook them, but one thing to remember is despite their initial flavour and sting on your eyes and that, onions are quite full of sugar. So if you cook them on a low heat for a long time, they will caramelise and they'll get a completely different flavour than just raw and sautéed. Okay? Storing onions, always a good idea to store them as covered as possible, because not only do onions smell themselves, they also absorb things from your fridge. So if you leave an onions open in your fridge, it will absorb other flavours, and it's not a very nice thing to have in your fridge. So always keep it covered, keep it wrapped. And finally, just one little quick fact for you. If you're ever worried about having onion breath or something like that, always remember eating a piece of fresh parsley or fresh mint, or even having some coffee grinds just to chew on, will get rid of that onion breath for you. Thanks very much for listening. Cheers.